Hey, I'm Shauna Lampman, and this is my data overview for Willie J. Williams Middle School, which is for staff use, and it was made July 14th, 2014. The purpose of this presentation is to present an overview of Willie J. Williams Middle School data. The presentation will include demographic information as well as test scores for the past 3 years. Strengths and weaknesses will also be highlighted during the presentation. And this is an overview of the school demographics of the past 3 years. And as you can see over here to the right, these are the total enrollment numbers for 2011, 2012, 2012, 2013, and 2013, 2014. And as you can see, the numbers have gone up slightly for those 3 years. And as far as demographics go, over the past 3 years, the gap has gotten a little bit smaller between the different ethnic groups. The number of white students has gone down. The number of African American students has actually gone down a little bit. The number of Hispanic students has risen quite a bit, and the number of other students has risen some. Just a little profile data for 2014. The economically disadvantaged students make up about 75% of the school population. Approximately 21.5% of the students are served by the gifted program. About 15.9% of students are served through special education, and about 7.2% of students qualify for English language learner services. This is student achievement data for 6th grade, the percentage of students who met or exceeded standards on CRCT, and it shows reading, language arts, math, science, and social studies for the 2012 test, the 2013 test, and the 2014 test. As you can see, for reading, the scores went down some in 2013 and then came back up some in 2014. For language arts, the scores have decreased every year for the past 3 years. The same with math, the scores have decreased. For science, the scores decreased 2013 and then went back up in 2014. And in social studies, the scores have actually increased every year for the past 3 years. For 7th grade, again, this is the percentage who met or exceeded standards on CRCT. And for reading, 7th graders stayed the same for those first 2 years, and then the 3rd year the percentage decreased. Language arts, they were pretty much the same for the first 2 years and then decreased again. For math, scores actually went up in 2013 and back down in 2014. For science, scores went up 2013 and then down below that first year for 2014. In social studies, scores went up quite a bit in 2013, but then went down some in 2014. This is a school and state comparison for 6th grade 2014 CRCT scores. It's comparing Willie J. Williams and the state of Georgia. Willie J. Williams is the only middle school in Colquitt County, so there couldn't really be a system comparison, so we compare to the state. For reading, you can see that here are the two scores, Willie J. Williams reading and state reading. The number of students who failed is a little bit higher for Willie J. Williams. The number of students who passed is actually quite a bit higher for Willie J. Williams, but that's because the number of students who exceeded is lower for Willie J. Williams. The numbers are fairly close for English language arts for Willie J. Williams and the state. For math for the state and Willie J. Williams, there's a little bit of difference. Science is fairly close for Willie J. Williams in the state, and then social studies is somewhat close for Willie J. Williams in the state. For 7th grade, the same kind of comparison again, comparing Willie J. Williams and the state of Georgia. Reading for Willie J. Williams and the state, they're the two percentages. 9% for reading for Willie J, 5% for state failed. See, again, on this one, the pass rate is way higher for Willie J. Williams, but that's because the exceed rate is smaller. For English language arts, you can see the percentages there. For math, for Willie J. Williams and the state, a little bit of discrepancy there. For Willie J. Williams science and state science, there's a little bit of discrepancy. And then with social studies, it was fairly close for Willie J. Williams and the state. The content area strengths and weaknesses for Willie J. Williams Middle School based on CRCT. The strengths are reading is a strength in both 6th and 7th grade. 90% or more students have met or exceeded each of the 3 years recorded. And language arts is a strength in both 6th and 7th grade. 86% or more students have met or exceeded each of the 3 years recorded. Weaknesses, science has been a weakness in 6th grade for the past 3 years. They went from 72% to 65%, up a little to 71%, but that's still a relatively low percentage of pass and exceed. Math has been a weakness in 6th grade for the past 3 years, which has gone down every year for the past 3 years. 6th grade math subgroups meeting or exceeding standards on CRCT. 6th grade math, Willie J. Williams CRCT data by subgroup for 3 years. This is showing English language learners, and this is what's happening from 2012 is blue up to green, which is 2014. So the scores have dropped quite a bit. For students with disabilities, the performance has gone down every year. For the white population, the scores went down in 2013 and then back up a little bit in 2014. For Hispanic students, the scores have actually increased. They increased since 2012, but they stayed about the same in 2013 and 2014. For African American students, the performance has decreased quite a bit every year for the 3 years. And for all students, the performance has decreased for the past 3 years. This is showing the percentage meeting or exceeding standards by ethnic group, just to show if there is an achievement gap, and there is a little bit of an achievement gap in between African American especially and white students. In 2014, the achievement gap seems to be getting larger. For percentage meeting or exceeding by subgroup, looking at students with disabilities and English language learners, there's quite a gap between all students and these two subgroups of students. It does seem like maybe the English language arts group, the gap may be closing a little bit, but it doesn't look like that's the case with students with disabilities. 6th grade science subgroups meeting or exceeding standards on CRCT. This is the 6th grade science for Willie J. Williams CRCT data by subgroup for 3 years. And the other one was math. This is science. This is showing English language learners in 2012, 2013, and 2014. The performance went down quite a bit for 2013, but then almost came up to the level of 2012 the next year. For students with disabilities, the performance has gone down every year. For the white population, the performance has gone down and then back up a little bit. For Hispanic students, the performance went down but then went up past what it was for 2012. So it looks like there's a little bit of gain there. For African American students, the performance went down and then back up a little, and the same with all students. And this is showing the meeting or exceeding by ethnic group to see if there's an achievement gap. It looks like the achievement gap seems to be closing a little bit with all students in the area of science, a little bit. For students with disabilities and English language learners, the English language learners performance went down quite a bit in 2013, but then went up pretty high in 2014. Again, with the same with math, the students with disabilities seem to be going down in performance every year. So it looks like that achievement gap is getting larger. Weakness focus, sixth grade math or science. I decided to choose an area of weakness to focus on, and both sixth grade math and sixth grade science are areas of weakness, but based on the data, my focus will be on sixth grade math due to the fact that the meets exceeds percentages have declined each year. This is showing the number that did not meet, met, and exceeded in blue, yellow, and green respectively. This is showing the different domains for math for sixth grade. It's showing how many did not meet, how many met, how many exceeded. And when I looked at this data, I saw that the worst area seemed to be data analysis and probability, because 277 students did not meet and only 57 exceeded. Measurement was another area of concern. 193 did not meet, 337 met, and 90 exceeded. Observations on sixth grade math domains on CRCT data. The domains of number and operations in algebra are relative strengths in sixth grade math. Measurement is a weaker domain. Data analysis and probability is the weakest area in sixth grade mathematics based on 2014 CRCT scores. What can we do? First, we need to figure out what strategies sixth grade math teachers can use to increase performance on the data analysis and probability domain. We also need to figure out what strategies sixth grade math teachers can use to increase performance on the measurement domain. Maybe the teachers can find out what strategies sixth grade teachers are using in numbers and operations and adapt those same strategies to data analysis and probability. And that concludes my data overview. Thank you.